Good morning, everyone. We will get started in just a couple of moments to allow everyone to enter the room. And I'll go over a few housekeeping slides. All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Mara DeCola. I'm here representing CACRAO. Thank you for joining us for the CACRAO StriveScan Virtual College Exploration events for all North and South Carolina students. We're so excited to have you here today. Just a few housekeeping reminders as we go through the session today with Chowan University. If you have any questions for our presenters, you can ask them through the Q&A button that's on your screen. Your camera and microphone are turned off, and so the panelists cannot see or hear you, but if you type your questions into the Q&A, the panelists will see it. The Q&A is private, and so if you ask questions, the other attendees cannot see those questions. We are hosting many sessions through CACRAO this fall. And so in order to sign up for more, check out www.cacrao.org to sign up for one of our many sessions. This session is being recorded today, and it will be available on our website in about a week at cacrao.org. I will turn it over to our presenters, and thank you so much for joining us.
Again, my name's Scott Parker, Director of Admissions. I'm glad you could join us today. I think we've got the technical bugs worked out. Just wanted to kind of talk to you today about Chowan University, what we can offer to you as a student. Also, if we've got any counselors listening, just kind of an overview of what we are and what we do here at Chowan. So we've been around for a long time. We were founded as a women's college, actually, all the way back in 1848. For a while there, after that, we became a junior college. We were a junior college until 1994. And then we officially became renamed Chowan University from Chowan College in 2006. We are located in the town of Murfreesboro, North Carolina. I know you probably never heard of it, but we are in the extreme northeastern part of North Carolina. We are about 10 minutes from the Virginia border, and we have around 1,200 students. Our average class size is around 18. Student-faculty ratio is 16:1. We do give personalized education. So what that means is professors are going to know your name. They're going to teach their own classes, and they have office hours available for students. So that's something that I'm big on, because I know particularly in this type of year and the environment that we're in right now with COVID, where everything's kind of out of whack, being able to get in touch with that professor, being able to Zoom or have a phone call or an email with a professor when they're not available to meet necessarily face-to-face, is good. But they also, our faculty are working on campus. So even in the pandemic, they are available with some limitations and some distancing and things face-to-face. And over 70% of our faculty have their terminal degree. So that just means that basically they have the highest level of education possible in their degree program. And that's something that, again, we pride ourselves in, because we, a lot of smaller schools can't say that, but we definitely can. If you are interested in applying to Chowan University, our process is super easy. You just complete the application online, chowan.edu/apply, and then we waive your application fee. This year we are test optional, so once we get those transcripts, we can make an admission and scholarship decision right away, which is super awesome. We've already made some admission decisions for 2021. We've had a lot of visitors. We've got people that are super excited about being able to come to Chowan already. So if you are interested, we encourage you to go ahead and apply now, because it will make the process easier down the road. Also, once you do get accepted, we do have merit scholarships available. They range from $4,000 to $9,000 per year, and all accepted students are going to receive a scholarship. So, that's a really, really good thing. because I know now, money is key. School's not cheap, regardless of where you go. So the more opportunities you have to get money, the better off you'll be. So we just started out with $4,000 to $9,000. That's just a starting point. There are many more scholarships out there that are available, including our Chowan Scholarship Day. We're going to have one of those coming up virtually in November. It's an opportunity for students to get additional monies up to an additional $6,000 per year, and that is based on an interview, on an essay, and then, of course, talking about your leadership abilities, things of that nature. The Chowan Christian Service Association Scholarship is another scholarship that's out there for students. That is for students that plan on going into full-time vocational ministry. Now, what does that mean? That means you could be a pastor. That means you could be a music minister. That means you could be a media arts minister. That means you could do any number of things within ministry. So that's a pretty awesome thing that we've got there, for our students. And that is something, again, that would be a separate application as well as an interview for that. And that is done by a committee through our advancement office. They kind of coordinate that. We also have performance and music scholarships that are available. So if you are somebody that sings in the choir, or you play an instrument, or you're interested in being a music major, there are scholarships out there for you in those areas. So that's something that we encourage you to go ahead and identify early, because we do typically around our in-person event dates, we will do those interviews. So they are not interviews, but auditions. Those will be listed on our website, how you can go in and actually schedule those and get that set up with a faculty member. We obviously last year did some virtually, so virtual is an option for you too, if you're unable to come due to us not doing them face-to-face, or you live a long ways away, or whatever the case may be. And then I know there's many of you out there watching that are student athletes. There are athletic scholarships that are available for students as well. Those are totally at the discretion of the coach. I get a lot of questions about those all the time, because we're Division II, which I'll talk more about in a little bit, and not Division I. Those are not necessarily going to mean that your entire education is going to be paid for. They're going to be partial scholarships in many, many cases. But even with a partial scholarship, you could still be able to get some additional monies by, quote, stacking your scholarship. So you get that academic scholarship we were talking about. You get that, say you get a music scholarship, say you get CCSA, say you get leadership. All those things kind of stack on top of the athletic scholarship. So a coach may say, I'm going to give you a $10,000 athletic scholarship. But then in theory, by the time you look at all your financial aid and the time you look at your scholarships that you interviewed for or auditioned for or whatever, you may be looking at, receiving a full scholarship. So that's obviously something that's out there that can hopefully help you as well. We have started a couple new academic programs on campus. Many of them are actually at the associate's degree level. We hadn't offered associate degrees for a while, but it's something that some of our students had said they wanted to be able to get. So we have offered some at the associate degree level. Most of those are ones we also offer 4-year degrees in. So you could actually get the 2-year degree in it, maybe be able to get an entry-level job with it, and then continue with the 4-year degree in that exact program. But we also have started new academic programs at the 4-year level, and that is mass communication with a focus on communication studies. We just got that approved last week, as well as mass communication with sports media. So if you are interested in doing anything in like radio broadcasting, TV broadcasting, working in sports from a media standpoint, so that's whether it's being a producer, whether that's being play-by-play, color commentary, anything in media communication like that. So even sports information directors, things like that, you could do with this degree. You can also couple it with other things like our sport management concentration, which is through our physical education department, which could also give you that management background. But really, the way it's designed is you're really getting some business classes, you're getting some classes, say, in that sport management field anyway. So you're going to just really get, a good broad-based education that's going to prepare you to be able to do that sports broadcasting and sports media. And we do that because we've had a lot of students that have expressed interest in it. So we got that started. Something else that we do have an honors college. Basically, if you are interested in honors college, if you've got at least a 3.25 GPA coming out of high school and an SAT score of 1100, you would be eligible as a new student coming in for the honors college. Our provost of the university, Dr. Moore, would be the one that would contact you about that. Once you would go to register for classes, because there are some specific classes and things that go along with that. There's the honors college seminar, which is topical based, and they do things every year like they'll do, the students get to kind of pick a lot of that. So they'll do something like, they'll do like Wonderlands. They did that one year, and they were actually looking at cartoons from a critical standpoint and trying to determine, hey, what is this cartoon trying to say? Does it have a political message? Does it have some kind of social justice message? Whatever it may be. So they did that one time in 2016. They looked at the presidential election. Obviously, anytime there's a presidential election, it's going to be quite the debate. So they did that, and it was kind of an open forum for students to be able to do that. And of course, they write papers about their experience and other things as well. But in addition to that, they have an honors English class that they would take. And then there's also some cultural enrichment experiences too. So things like one year they went to the African American History Museum in Washington, D.C. One year they went to Colonial Williamsburg, because we're only about an hour and a half from there. One year they actually went to a concert and saw the Trans-Siberian Orchestra in Raleigh do their Christmas concert. So, because of our unique geographic location, we're 3 to 4 hours or less away from many, many major areas like the Raleigh-Durham area of North Carolina. As I mentioned earlier, Williamsburg, Virginia, Richmond, Virginia, the Hampton Roads area, Virginia Beach, things like that. We're, from the colonial capital of North Carolina, New Bern, we're less than 2 hours away. So lots of history and lots of learning right here within a 2-hour radius. And then when you look at like Washington, D.C. being a 4 hour or less, it's actually probably more like 3 hours, 3.5 hour trip for our students. So they're able to do something like that, and just they would leave at like 5 o'clock in the morning or maybe even earlier, and then they'd get back, really, really late in the evening. But they're able to do it in a day without having to get a hotel room, without having to do anything, really crazy out of the way, and it keeps those expenses down, for our students. So, that's something that's really, really good about our honors program, is that it really does not only give you that honor certificate when you get ready to graduate. You get the honor cord, you get it on your diploma. You could say you're an honor graduate, but you get all these enrichment things too. So it's going to help you, while you're here as well, kind of be more of a more well-rounded student. And then we have something called Chowan Fellows. That's something that we started. One of the missions of Chowan that I really like is we really kind of focus on the average student. A lot of schools won't tell you that, but we really do. We found that students that are somewhere in that 2.3 to 2.8, 3.0 range can come here and be successful in their endeavors at school. They just sometimes need a little extra help, and they need a little extra work, and they need that push, and they need to feel welcome, and they need to feel wanted, and they need something to get involved with. So we started that Chowan Fellows program for students like that. It runs very similar to the Honors College as far as the way the program is set. They still do their seminar class. They do some enrichment stuff. They get recognized at graduation as a Chowan Fellow. But it's designed for students that have a Chowan GPA of at least a 2.0, but they don't meet the qualifications to be in the honors program. But sometimes these students get in the fellows program, and then they're able to later on move up into the honors program. Because one thing about the honors college is that you can join it at any point at Chowan. So most of our students that join the honors college don't join until sophomore, junior, or sometimes even senior year. So the fellows program sometimes can prepare them for honors. But those Chowan fellows, they are leaders on campus. They're your SGA leaders. They're your tour guides. They're your presidential ambassadors in many cases. They're also the ones that help with campus activities, things like that. So there's lots of opportunities there, for students to get involved. It's a way that we found has really helped us with retention with those kids, because they are our bread and butter kids. And we've got a good track record with students like that graduating and going on and doing great things. I know we've got one now who fits that mold, who is currently in law school. He came to Chowan and really like lit it up and really did well once he got to Chowan, was able to make great grades, and now he's in law school. I know another one who's pursuing a career in professional athletics. I ran into him, a few weeks ago. He happened to be on campus working out, and I saw him, and he's doing quite well as well. So, we want you to be successful, whether that's in athletics, whether that's in professional world, or whether it's a combination of both, like many of our students are doing. And that's kind of what we do here at Chowan. Now, to join the fellows program, they do have to have between 15 and 60 hours completed at Chowan. So that is a little bit different than the honors college. They don't come into it as a brand new student. They have to kind of come in and prove themselves first. We also have something called academic success. So that's something to help those students who maybe were those students that didn't do all that well in high school, but they need that extra push. Academic success is there. They send out birthday wishes every day. They also do things like they will send letters of encouragement. Like if you typically make a C in a class and you end up getting a B, they're going to send you a congratulations saying, hey, you got a B in this class. We know you really worked hard to do it. But they're also there if you have a problem with your professor, or you have a problem with a classmate, or any kind of academic issue. Right now, they're dealing a lot with people who are having technology issues, things like that they're struggling with, because it is a new thing for our students. So they're doing a lot with that too. They also help them with class registration and advising, things like that as well. That's more on a secondary role, but they do that as well. The Writing Center is something else that we have that we're proud of. They work with students in all facets of the writing process. So when students need support when they're planning, drafting, revising, or preparing for writing for their class assignments, they're there to help you. There are 4 workstations in there where students can actually sit down and do their work right there in the lab there in the Writing Center. So that way they've got help if they need it. They can print right in there. There are student tutors as well as faculty tutors that are in there to help students. And so there's no reason that a student can't be prepared for their writing in a class. If a student is a good writer, then I encourage them to apply to be a writing tutor, because they get paid to do that and they actually get a little more money than most work study students would. Also within that, we have the Tutoring Center. They do free tutoring for students in all subject areas 4 nights a week, Monday through Thursday from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Students just come in, they sign up, and then they're able to get that tutoring. We have a counseling center as well. That is if you need professional counseling. She does everything from individual counseling to group counseling, crisis intervention, substance abuse counseling, sexual violence advocacy, and psychoeducation. So sometimes students meet with her weekly, sometimes monthly, sometimes it may just be a one-time thing. She deals a lot with relationships. As you know, in college, you're around a bunch of new people. Sometimes it may be boyfriend, girlfriend trouble. Sometimes it may be roommate trouble, but she can help with any of that. So the counseling center is something that is widely used by our students. Also career services. Alan Scott, who's our career services director, does a great job with resume and cover letter writing. He also helps students with internships, graduate school preparation, and he has a career resource library. He'll also do a graduate student fair here each year, where he'll bring in the grad schools where students, if they're looking to go to grad school, have some options there. He'll also bring in job fairs. So he'll bring in, local employers and some regional employers that can come in and really help students network and find those jobs that they need. And I know earlier I alluded to athletics, but I want to spend a little time specifically on athletics, because about 40% of our students are athletes. So that's an important distinction kind of to make. We do have students that come from all over the world, both to be students at Chowan, but also to be student athletes. We have this year 27 states represented in 8 countries just in our new class. When you actually break that down into new and returning students, it's probably more like 35 states and probably 15 to 20 countries. So very diverse group of students on campus. But we do have 20 NCAA Division II sports plus co-ed cheerleading, and our newest program, which is Esports. I did want to talk a little bit about Esports, as well as our other new program, which is Acro Tumbling. So If you are not familiar with esports, it's basically a sport where you actually do gaming. So we have a brand new esports room where we have it set up with large screen monitors where you can actually sit in there and do gameplay. I'm not a gamer, so what games they play, I'm not 100% sure, but you can go on our website, go cuhawks.com. That's our athletic website, and you can kind of see some of the things that they do. You can see the roster, but it is brand new, so they've not started competition yet, but they do plan to have competition later on this year. Also, we have acrobatics and tumbling. That is an emerging sport. It just became part of the NCAA back just this spring. Basically, if you want to look at competitive cheerleading, mixed with gymnastics, but just the floor exercise. That's basically what we're looking at. But you're not actually cheering for a team. You're just doing more like the stunts and things like that. So that's something we're really excited about. I've never been able to see an acro tumbling event live, but we do definitely, I've seen some on video. They look like a lot of fun. We're really excited about it. We're ready to have that up and running here this year as well. So we had our first recruiting class come in for that and for esports this year. Some of the other sports that we offer are your more traditional sports, obviously football, men's and women's soccer, men's and women's lacrosse, men's and women's golf, women's volleyball, men's and women's basketball, JV, men's basketball, softball, baseball, men's and women's tennis. I believe I already said lacrosse. So those are the sports that we offer. Like I said, we are in Conference Carolinas for the bulk of our sports. Conference Carolinas, those teams are mostly in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. So that's our travel radius there. We do have about 5 teams on our side of the state. There's some more on the west side of North Carolina, and then a few in South Carolina and Georgia. But it is a growing conference. It's a very competitive conference. This is our second year as a full-fledged member of Conference Carolinas. So we're excited, hopefully this year, to be able to get all of our sports to be able to have some competition in that league. The only sports that are not in Conference Carolinas are football and bowling. I forgot to mention bowling a minute ago, but football and bowling, they are in the CIAA. Which was our old conference that we were a full member of, but now we're an affiliate member for CIAA. Those teams are in North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, and Pennsylvania. So we kind of travel the other direction with those teams. We also have active campus ministry. That's something I want to spend some time on. Our campus ministry here is unique. A lot of campus ministry is programming based, but we're more like hands-on, more let's get your hands dirty. Let's get out there. Let's do some service projects. Let's do things. Let's do mission trips, things like that. We do have programming for students that are interested in that. We have programming just about every night out of the week. However, that's not our, that's not the thing that we have the most. We do mission trips. We usually do 5 to 6 mission trips a year. And they do some that are local, some that are somewhere in the state, national stuff, and international stuff. Last year, pre-COVID, obviously, we went to Maine and we also went to Hawaii. Hawaii took the place of our international trip, but we do have trips like that, but we've also gone to Cuba, we've gone to El Salvador, we've gone to South Africa, Ethiopia, places like that, and do various different things with our students when we do that. There is fundraising available for that, so you're able to do that. But if you are interested in campus ministry on campus, some of the things we do have an FCA chapter. We have an international justice mission, which works with students, I mean, not students, but they work with social injustices, particularly human trafficking, things like that. We also have E3, which is like a campus worship service. They meet every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock. And then we have a monthly campus worship that brings together all of our groups. We have a gospel choir. They're called Instruments of Praise Gospel Choir. We also have a praise dance team, and we have Mimes of God, which is a mime team. So they'll go out and they'll do performances at churches in the local area. You know, whoever kind of wants them to come out, they'll also do some performances and things on campus. So campus ministry is a big part of what we do. Another thing that we have here at Chowan is Greek life. Greek life is, it's a pretty big deal here. We have several Greek organizations. We have, as far as for men, we have the Kappas, we have the Alphas, and we have the Omegas. For the women, we have Zeta Phi Beta. We also have the Deltas, and then we also have AKA. And then there's also another organization that's not part of the Divine Nine, which is Alpha Sigma Tau. They're also a sorority for the female students here. And if there's one, if I didn't mention one that you're interested in, we do have students that get stuff started all the time. So you can actually go in and you can go see our director of student life, and he can work with you and help you develop a game plan to get a Greek organization or any other club or organization started on this campus. We do have lots of clubs and organizations on campus. Most of them have been started because students really were interested in it. So, you know, things like we've had a chess club or a billiards club. We also have an anime club that we've had in the past. I think they're still active now. We have clubs with just about every academic major. We do bingo nights on campus. They're always huge because you can win money. We have movie nights on campus. We'll do like a thing where we might do bowling, and you go to the bowling alley here in the area and get free bowling for 3 hours. So we'll do things like that. You know, we did some things this year that were social distancing friendly, like going out on the football field and making pop sockets, going out and making blankets. We actually did some service projects where they were actually able to make bags for people in the retirement homes. So they were able to do that this year. So lots of different things to get involved with. We also have, during non-COVID years when things are relatively normal, we have a big event on campus that's called Harvest Fest. We do it on Halloween, and we open up to the community where they're able to actually get together and bring the kids in, do games. Our students will dress up, the little kids will dress up, and we basically do trick-or-treating on campus. So that's a big thing. We do Relay for Life on campus. That's a huge thing here on campus as well, because that is something that, you know, supports cancer research. And we have one of the largest grossing Relay for Lives in the country, and it's for 2 counties. We also do the Play for K games every year, which does also gives money for cancer research. So lots of opportunities to get involved for service, for fun stuff, you know, for community service, campus ministry, all that kind of stuff. I could talk for days about what we offer at Chowan, but I know we probably have some questions. So if anyone has any questions, please let me know, and we'll be more than happy to answer them for you. Some other things I'll talk about while we're waiting for some questions is just kind of what is the typical Chowan student. And I talked a little bit about it. We do really, you know, we feel like our niche is that average student. However, we do have a lot of those honor students as well. But the typical Chowan student, somewhere our average GPA is somewhere around that 2.6, 2.7. Average ACT score around 17, average SAT score around 800. Like I said, we are test optional this year, so the test scores don't really matter. If you've got over a 3.0 GPA, you will get our top academic scholarship, which is $9,000 per year. And that is, that again is just the starting point. Some important things to remember for any school like Chowan, for any school for that matter, making sure you get that free application for the free application for federal student aid, also known as the FAFSA. Making sure you get that done early is key, because that is going to be what determines a lot of your monies, because there are North Carolina monies out there. There's also federal monies out there like Pell Grant. There's also work study, things like that that are out there and available for you, that you just have to go in there and apply for. So you can start applying for FAFSA on October the 1st. And then once that's done, then you are, you know, we'll work on getting you a financial aid package. We typically do financial aid packages starting about December is when we actually do it, but we base it on the date that your information has been submitted. So October 1 is the first day you can submit it, and I would encourage you to do that as soon as possible. The good thing is, as of a couple of years ago, now they look at what they call prior years, so you don't have to wait on parents to do their taxes this year. You go on the year prior. So we do that. Also, you know, if you do have, because COVID happened, obviously things have changed. You know, if we look at the prior year and, you know, it looks like your family had a lot of money coming in, but then say the next year something happens, you know, parents were laid off for a long period of time, laid off altogether, changed jobs that paid significantly less. We will go in and do what's called a professional judgment and go in and actually look and see, you know, what we can do to help you and make sure you're getting the best financial aid package for your situation. Our cost of attendance for the year, before we look at any financial aid, any academic scholarships, anything else, is around $36,000 per year. That sounds like a lot, but like I said, you could get up to $9,000 per year, knocked right off the top. And then there are those other scholarships we discussed, plus the FAFSA. That fee also includes everything. So we do not charge for parking. You are allowed to bring a car as a freshman. We do not charge for a technology fee, and your books are included in that amount that I gave you. It also includes your meal plan and your house. I will talk about housing a little bit as well. For freshmen, we do have traditional housing. However, after your freshman year, you are able to apply to live in our apartments and suites. One thing that makes us unique with that is we are able to accommodate students in suites for the same price as a traditional hall. Now you say, what is a suite? A suite, it's 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a kitchenette, and common living space. You would still have a roommate in your room, but the rooms are huge. So you would have a roommate, so there'd be 8 of you total in there. You would share a bathroom with your roommate and your suite mates on the right beside you. And then the same thing would happen on the other side. So you have 4 people sharing a bathroom and 8 people total sharing that common living space with the kitchenette. Kitchenette basically has a microwave and a full-size refrigerator freezer. And then it will have a counter with a table and everything. It does not have a stove and an oven. That's why it's called a kitchenette. And then your common living area will have, I think, a couch and several chairs that are sitting there as well that you're able to use. So that's kind of the setup of the suites, the apartments. The difference is there, they are private rooms, so there is an upgrade fee there. You would have 4 bedrooms, 2 baths. You'd have your own actual bedroom. You'd have a washer dryer in your unit, and you'd have a full stove, an oven, and everything right there. But even in the suites, you do have access to a laundry room, and you also have access to a full kitchen there. We actually include laundry in our cost as well, so you have it right on your ID card, or even now you can actually use your phone. Actually, we put your ID card right on your phone, so you can just pick it up, tap it when you go in to use it, and it'll beep, and you're good to go. So you use that in the cafeteria, use that to get into your room, like your building that you're in, not necessarily your individual bedroom, because that'll have a physical key, but you use it to get there, use it to eat in the cafeteria, the library, to get in our fitness center, to get in the Hawk's Nest, which is our student center hangout area. So, you know, you do have that, you have that as well, which has made it very nice. You don't have to worry about keeping up with your ID card. You know, it's right there on your phone. I use mine on the daily when I'm trying to access stuff, and it just makes life a whole lot easier than have to carry that card around. And if you're like me and you keep it in your wallet, then you have to pull it out of your wallet every time. Now you just got your phone, which is always on you, and you just tap it and you're good to go. So we're always looking at, you know, new things here on campus as far as technologies, things like that. Something else we do too, we're always looking at new things when it comes to like the cafeteria and what students are asking for. We have a wide variety of food. We always have at least one vegan option every day, some vegetarian options. Plus we always have some kind of rotisserie, either chicken or, you know, carved ham or carved roast beef, something like that every day. Along with your main entrees, we have pizza every day. Sometimes we'll have burgers, you know, and then sometimes we'll have theme nights like International Student Night and things where we'll feature food from other countries. So we have that as well. Do we have any questions? Okay, the next thing I'll talk about is the campus visit. Campus visits are crucial to students when they're interested in coming to school. You know, I never want to tell someone to come to a school that they've not visited. I know during the time of COVID, visits are a little weird. Some people are comfortable with it, some people are not. But we do have a virtual visit that you can do on our website. You can actually go in there. We have a virtual tour now that we just set up, where you can actually go in, click around, see the campus. That's a good starting point. That's something you can do now. It's there, but we are actually hosting on-campus visits in our office. Masks are required. Social distancing is required. We do not meet with students inside. We meet outside. When we do individual meetings, we have tour guides that show you around. They keep their mask on. You keep your mask on during the entire tour. We do space things apart. We're not doing like group open houses and things like that. We're doing individual visits. We try to keep the group small to 10 or less. So we do encourage you, if you do want to come visit campus, you can set that up on our website, chowan.edu/visit. But we do ask that you try to limit the number of people you bring with you. We do send you a survey, a COVID survey you do have to fill out before we'll do the tour, just to make sure you hadn't been in contact with someone that has tested positive or anything, you know, of that nature. So, you know, you're going to want to make sure that we want to make sure you're safe. We want to make sure everything is safe. So we're doing that for your safety. But it is something that you definitely want to experience for yourself, to be able to see what we're all about. So we do encourage that visit. Our visits are Monday through Friday at 10 and 2, and then at 10 a.m. on Saturdays. So and those are up on the website, those times. You can just go in there, fill out the form. Once you do that, we send you an email that has your confirmation, and it will also have a link to the COVID survey. So that's an important thing, again, that we make sure you have to do that before you come and visit campus. Those are really the main points I wanted to hit today. Again, we'd love to have you come down. We also want to tell you to keep a check on the website, because we are going to have a virtual visit day coming up where we're going to have a live student panel with some of our a wide variety of our students on campus, so you can kind of get an idea of what they have to say, what things are all about. And then we will also have some of our admission staff will be on that as well. And then we have our scholarship day, our virtual scholarship day will be coming up as well, and we'll have more information on that coming soon, where you can do those interviews. We hope to go back to doing face-to-face scholarship days and everything after the first of the year, but of course everything's up in the air now, so that will just depend on where we are at that point. So we've got, I think, a few more minutes for any questions. That's all I had. So if there are no questions, again, I'll encourage you to check out our website for any information on our virtual information. And then we'd love to see you on campus soon.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. Also, this was just one of many sessions being hosted, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions at CACRAO.org. In about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording, as well as all of the other session recordings at CACRAO.org. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us.